What's up my people? Today we are going to be recommending some absurd anime. Anime is already absurd, but there are some of these that end up exceeding more than normal. These recommendations are not at all objective and I will even be criticizing them in some parts. I hope you don't get offended. Remember that everything is for fun. The first recommendation is Day Day Live. This is the typical story where the protagonist is a magnet for women. But to get to that we only need one episode. Because in the second episode he goes out on a date with two girls at the same time. For those who have never seen this anime, I tell you a little. One day a lot of black holes appeared all over the planet. These holes have caused the death of many people. Because of these holes came out women who cause and destroy everything in its path. So far all this seems normal in any fiction series. Just wait a little bit and the absurdity is coming. This is the main character. I hate to look up his name. He lives at home with his little sister. Obviously there are no parents in this kind of series. The sister is a typical shy girl in love with the main character. One day one of those black holes comes up, and everyone has to evacuate. The protagonist, who is an idiot, stays outside, because he had promised his sister that they would go to lunch together. Instead of staying in the bunker, the protagonist prefers to go to the restaurant. The hole destroys everything in its path and a girl appears inside. Fights all around, but by magic and empty words the protagonist conquers this girl. Without much explanation they have a date and become a kind of boyfriend and girlfriend without being boyfriend and girlfriend. All very absurd. The thing about being boyfriend and girlfriend without being boyfriend and girlfriend, they will do it during all the seasons that this anime has. By the way, there are already 5 seasons done. At the end the protagonist is kidnapped by a governmental organization. Guess who leads this organization? It would be a scientist. It would be a hairy male. Well, it is either more nor less than the little sister. They had kidnapped him to make the girls who appear from the holes fall in love with him. Honestly, it seems to me a very absurd anime. Unfortunately, I watched the first 3 seasons. I already told you the beginning. It's up to you if you want to watch it. Let's go for the next recommendation. Kantai Collections. This anime is summed up in boats. It's not just any kind of boats, but between the fusion of between boats and girls. Reviews for later. First I tell you what it's about. One day in the Pacific Sea appeared some very strange beings inside the sea, of course, with human appearances and in thawing. These strange beings started the chaos all over the sea, and the only people who will be able to defeat them will be some girls fused with ship's spirits. Honestly, the creators do not know what they have smoked when creating this series, but I like it. In this case the main character is a girl. She has been transferred to a military school. There will be a bunch of characters, each one with special characteristics and ultra-sexualized designs. The story has its childish touch, but besides that it feels like it's part of the battle. But just having a lot of girls fighting and all of them are young girls that are being sent to the battlefield. Well, that doesn't really fit in with reality. I don't want to say anything else because this series has its little things, but I'll keep them to myself. Recommendation number 3, Angel Beats. This anime has been recommended many times. Practically no one is missing who recommends it, but there is always someone who didn't watch it. This is the story of a group of young people who are in the afterlife, that is, they died in some way. It is something like the movie Coco. It is as if they had a second life in the other world. Only this time an angel, represented by a girl, starts hunting them to send them to God. But all these boys do not wait quietly. Led by a girl, they all defend themselves with different weapons to keep themselves safe. Everything I said are general terms. The story has a much more complicated background that can only be understood by watching the anime. The good part of the anime comes when all these guys remember their past life. Honestly, I got several tears at the end of the anime. You may not understand it a bit at the beginning, but as you keep watching the anime, it gets really good. The main character is a boy who wakes up without his memories, meeting a girl he doesn't know. This one asks him what he is doing with a sniper. This girl tells him it's to assassinate the angel. The boy thinks that all this is stupid, so he goes to talk to the supposed angel and is quickly killed. After a while he wakes up and realizes that he had died. But why is he still intact? All those questions will be answered if you watch the series. Only 13 chapters, it's not much either. Let's move on to the next anime. Beelzebub. This series is another absurd anime, but I enjoyed watching this anime. The spectacular fights and the waifus have a touch of elegance. The comedy is its main course. What the story is about? Well, one day a boy, while quietly fighting with other students, an old man appears in the middle of the river, splitting in two, and then gives him a child. The protagonist wants to scare the boy away from him, but this demon spawn clings to him very tightly, and does not let him go free. It turns out that this boy was none other than the son of the king of demons. With the sole purpose of conquering humans, he sent his son. This silliness makes you wonder how good the characters are. During the development of the anime, many people will appear who want to take the child away, such as other demons, their siblings, etc. The most fucked up thing is that the fetus cries for everything. It gets scared, cries, shits itself, cries, as it is the son of a demon. It has powers and always ends up electrocuting everyone. What a crazy argument. The worst of all is that this anime did work and has more than 70 chapters. So much bullshit. Let's move on to the main course. Chujujin Game Neptune the animation. First of all, do not watch this anime. I tell you why. All the characters are girls who live their lives, so happy and sweetness that makes you want to hit them. The plot is kind of simple. There are 4 kingdoms, each one ruled by a type of console. It's like Nintendo, PlayStation and Xbox would have their own countries, but they have different names. The plot sounds great. Can you imagine the fight of the PlayStation and Xbox representatives? That sounds great. Sorry to disappoint you, but this is not going to happen. First of all, the world where it is set, there are only girls, plus the rulers of each country. Well, internally they are 14-year-old girls. No shit. Just thinking about it is giving me a fucking cringe. You tell me why the fuck he is recommending it. Good question, my friend, good question. Speaking honestly, this kind of anime is for someone with very specific tastes. So if you want to watch anime, you already know more or less what it's about. Just stay a few meters away from people, just in case. As you may have seen and heard, all these anime are completely absurd. They make you say this should not exist. But you know this is the magic of anime. An anime is never going to make sense. Big anime fans, we know that entering the world of anime is entering a world full of magic, fiction and incongruities. All of that makes the story feel great. Later on I will be recommending some anime, such as recommendations, and a lot of nonsense more, maybe one or another summary. I don't know, I'll think of something. All that being said, I'm out of here. See you next time.